Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world. Bula, Fiji. We are in Waia Island on our way to Sevu Sevu ceremony, where you give the local tribe some kava root in exchange to be able to anchor in front of their village. They ground the root and wash it in a cloth in water, making a drink called kava. The ceremony is done to meet and get to know each other, and can last late into the night.
Bula. All clever. So when drinking kava, we all take part. Eh? And you clap again.
The villagers had a fundraiser for a new home that they wanted to build, and we would go to a small show they put together. Fijians are extremely friendly, as long as you don't wear a hat or sunglasses in their villages.
This morning we tried to lift anchor at the Manta Ray Resort Anchorage, where we got wrapped around a bommy. So it's the one time we needed the windlass, and the 1 foot switch which pays the chain out didn't want to work. So yeah, a bit of a hassle. And then when the windlass can also be manually released to drop the chain, but I never used that function, and that also didn't want to work. So the foot switch, the wire is completely corroded, and I'm just taking apart the windlass to see what's happening with the manual release function. So it turns out that the cone clutch just got a bit of corrosion on it, and I've already kind of loosened it, so this was just stuck. So the cone clutch allows the gypsy to spin without the motor turning. So we'll just grease that up and put it back together.
Our last night in the Yasavas is gonna at least be a beautiful one. The sun or the clouds have finally lifted. We can see some stormy weather to the northern Yasavas, but at least the sun is out here, and we'll have a nice sunset before we head back to the mainland to sort out some jobs before our not too long trek to Vanuatu.
With the wind right on the nose, as we expected, we motor sail most of the way southeast to Vuda Marina.
Morning here in Buddha Marine, and all the sails have come down. No, I'm joking. Just the genoa has come down because we need to fix our furler.
So we've figured out that our Furler lower bearing unit is not in good shape. It started making like rust water on the deck. So there's a normal carbon steel bearing in there with 2 seals. So we've decided to open it up. We've bought some replacement parts, the bearings and the seals. It's standard industrial stuff, but it was a bit of a struggle to get this unit off. It was a bit corroded, so I WD-40'd it, but now it's sliding over the profile, so you can get to the rigging screw. And next step would be to take off the forestay, so that this whole drum unit can basically slide off the forestay, and we can take the bearings out inside.
The good old umbrella trick to catch any small parts that might fall off while you're busy with the job.
We've managed to get the lower unit of the furler off, and now we have to take out 2 seals and a bearing. There's some circlips, so I'm about to start doing that before we replace them. So we've managed to take the bearings off, but the bearing basically disintegrated completely, and they are completely corroded where they sit on the aluminium shaft. So this is actually the inner race of the bearing, and this is the top seal. So I'm gonna still try and get it off, but you can see how corroded the aluminium is. So I'm not sure there's hope to refurbish this, but we'll keep going and see what the options are. I've managed to take the seals out, and the bearing is completely corroded, so it basically fell apart. And the problem now is the inner race of the bearing is corroded, and it's sitting on this shaft. You can see how badly the aluminium is being corroded, and the same for the drum. The bearing is, the outer race of the bearing is in this housing, so maybe they can press it out, but yeah, the aluminium is badly corroded. So I'm going to speak to a rigger now to see if it is rebuildable, and then we'll take it from there. But at the moment, without a furler on Avanti.
The rigger was positive that with some machine work he'd be able to refurbish our furler, and that we don't need to wait weeks for the delivery of a new one. To calm our nerves, we head over to some mud pools.
So there are 4 pools here. You first cover yourself in mud, let it dry. Once it's dried, you look like an elephant, and then you jump into this first pool. It's lukewarm. That's where most of the mud comes off.
Waiting to dry, and then we'll wash off.
Second pool is a little bit less muddy, a little bit warmer. After the second one you go to the third, which is a little bit cleaner, and then the fourth pool is really hot.
All our cupboards have been emptied, and we are ready to be fumigated. We have a little bit of an ant problem, and we also have a few cockroaches that we found that we've been killing. Every now and again we find a dead one, but since we're going to Australia and they're really strict about not bringing any critters, we're rather going to fumigate in Fiji because it's better, it's a lot cheaper. We're guessing and double checked and then we'll be clean for the rest of the journey.
We got our furler back today from the machine shop. So they managed to weld the shaft up where it was corroded and machine it back down, and they pressed the bearings on, well, the bearing and the seals, and feels much better, way better than it was, and it's got much less play. The old bearing was completely worn out and falling apart, and it was corroded. So yeah, we're just gonna fit it now and see that everything goes back together, and we should be good to go. We've reinstalled our furler unit after the repairs, and it's turning quite nicely. So the furling line is also up. We just need to hoist the sail, and then I guess we'll test it when we get out of the marina. Today I'm drinking another local Fijian beer. It's called a Vonu. It's got a turtle on the label, so this one is Jacqueline's favorite, and it's a 330ml bottle with 4.6% alcohol in it. It seems like the Fijians like their lager beer. There's not much else on offer. There's probably some craft beers, but we haven't really spotted them. So let's give this one a try. It's really nice and crispy. It's not that bitter like the Fiji bitter, so a little bit less of a Pilsner taste, but a really good lager. This one is a little bit more expensive in the shops as well. I think just over $3 Fijian, and really good taste, refreshing. I think if it was the cheapest beer, I would probably drink these instead of the bitters or the gold. So yeah, in terms of a rating, really nice lager. I think an 8 out of 10 will suit this one.
In Fiji, we had some really good nights with friends from Australia, the Netherlands and Slovenia. But it's time to head out to Muscat Cove and test our Furler.
Well, not on the way there. We had wind on the nose, so just motored there all the way. We'll have to test it when we come back, and we do expect to have some wind on the beam or from behind.
Grabbing a mooring ball here means that you have access to the resort's beach, restaurants and pool, which would be great for families with children. I luckily had time for one dive with my friend from the US.
After fending off a poisonous sea snake that was trying to climb on board, it was time to test our headsail furler on our way back to Vuda Marina to clear out of Fiji. And we're happy to say we can sail again. The furler works like a charm. We will fix the switch that pays out the anchor with the windlass in Australia. Manual release till then will have to work.
Please leave us a like if you enjoyed this video, comment and subscribe. Thank you to our patrons who support the making of these videos monthly. If you'd like to give a contribution to our journey, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description below. See you in Vanuatu!